Okay, we do have a quorum present. It is Thursday, August 15th, 2024. This special called board meeting is called to order. Paul Arriaga is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Janie's going to read our board mission statement.
Through high expectations and equitable opportunity, TMISD will focus on the whole child by providing a safe environment and high-quality curriculum with diverse and enriching experiences.
Thank you, Janie. Do we have any public comment?
No.
Okay, next we'll move on to the budget workshop.
Mr. Carroll?
Hey, just real quick, you got, one main handout is this one that's got the summary of the updates, numbers, that shows all the numbers that changed since the last time. And then the other handout is just a summary of our positions, just to show you, all the positions that are currently in the budget right now, federal positions and local positions. And one shows the breakdown by campuses, and the other one kind of shows you the reduction that we've done over the last 2 years, just to show you what we have done. But what's updated on the revenues on the general fund is we got our certified values in. They are lower, significantly lower than they were last year, and that's even considering that, remember CC Polymers, their limitation dropped off, so $500 million got added to M&O. But overall, the M&O values are still down. The ADA, the adjustments to the revenue, the tax revenue and the state revenue is based on, I got the actual ADA from 23-24. That's what I'm using to project from 24-25. That ADA from last year was 3,350.401. That's just slightly higher than ADA the year before. It's only a 1.1% increase in the ADA from 22-23. That's what I'm using to project for 24-25. And like I said, if you take the actual what certified values were last year and this year, they're down 8%. Taking into account $500 million got added from CC Polymers expiring. We did, according to the certified values, we've got over $1 million of new value. That means new properties that weren't on the books before. But we're still down. If you take into that the net effect with the Chapter 13 limitation expiring, our values are down almost 18%. That's almost a fifth of our values. I'm using the estimated tax collection rate of 98%, and then I feel like a broken record, but I keep saying this. Formula transition grant is over. For the last 5 years, we were guaranteed $10,266 per ADA. Based upon the estimates that I'm using right now, all estimates, they all have asterisks next to them. Our payment or our revenue per ADA is actually going down $77 per ADA to $10,189. And then just talking about those, I'm calling them those fluid factors that can still change things. Obviously, enrollment and attendance. If it goes up, that'll be better. If it doesn't, and then tax collections, we're not protected anymore. If our tax collections don't come in, that will mean less revenue and a bigger deficit. And then the state comptroller certified values. We need to hope that the comptroller is in line with what the appraisal district has done, because if we don't tax, the state looks at if we don't tax what the state thinks we're not taxing as much as we could, or if we're not valuing, or if our property is not valued enough, that could hurt us. But that's out of our control. That's controlled by the appraisal district. Then if you just look for expenditures, campus departments, I've already gave out the capital allocations to the campuses. It's about 10%, más o menos. The only campus that's coming out a little bit is middle school has a lot more kids this year than they did last year. So they're not getting effectively cut 10% because they've got more kids. But their allocation, their per capita was reduced. I've got some final adjustments on the stipends, some final adjustments based upon the positions that we have that we're funding, and you'll, next week, or at least by the 26th, when we adopt the compensation plan, we got the budget to cover the compensation plan that you're gonna approve. And then, we're still tweaking the program budgets. But then remember about the program budgets, I've got spending requirements. Special ed, I've got to make sure keep the special ed expenditures, at least try to maintain them as much as possible. Even though Career and Tech, GT, all those, they have spending requirements. So we're still gonna look at those and cut where we can, and we're gonna have those finalized by next Tuesday, so we can have that in the final budget. And then just real quickly, tax rates, because our values went down so much, we're still at the floor, so our M&O tax rate remains unchanged at 0.7575. We weren't required to compress anymore because our values didn't go up. And then, but debt service, because of that 18, on the INS side, it's effectively an 18% decrease, because that already had it's not 18%, but that already had the CC Polymers value in there. Well, the lower value means that to make the debt payments with the lower values, the debt service rate right now, it's gonna go up a little over almost 2.5 cents from 0.1943. It's gonna go up. I'm sorry, I don't think I typed that in right.
Yeah, because that actually went
No,
down.
It should be 19 something.
Right above the 1943, right?
Yes.
And that also includes paying off debt with the defeasance.
Well,
This year.
that's for this year. We're not scheduling any defeasance for 24, 25. But we're already starting to have payments for the $45 million that we sold this year. That we have to take into account that, but the rate has to adjust for that because of the lower values too. And so on next Monday, regular board meeting, the budget will pretty much be pretty much good to go, except for some of the programs. And the presentation will look much more polished, and then we'll be ready for the 26th. Any questions?
And the 26th will be the approval of the
That'll
budget.
be the approval of the budget and then the approval of it.
So, Mr. Carroll, the budget they're going to see Monday and then on the 26th is going to be 100% salaries.
Yes.
You want to talk about that for
Yeah, I just want to talk about, now, last year, I did budget for salary savings,
$500,000?
$500,000, because I knew we were going to go try to do some attrition and some reducing during the year. This budget, I'm budgeting 100% as if we were going to be fully staffed the whole year.
And we know that never happens.
And we know that never happens. So I'm counting on our trajectory of enrollment and attendance, if that keeps swinging up, if everything else stays positive.
But you're not including that in the
But I'm
budget.
not including that in the budget, but the salary savings that do happen, the natural stuff that happens, we don't have positions filled 100% of the time. We do have to start, once people start running out of leave, we have to start docking their pay. Yes, sometimes we have sub expenses, but there's natural salary savings that's the only cushion that I have in the budget to absorb other things that might come up during the year.
So instead of a $3.2 million deficit, you're looking at a 2.7?
Well, no, right now, we're at 3.2. Now, the other thing too is on Monday night, we're gonna talk about property insurance, and that's when we'll have a discussion about the property insurance, about what our options are for that too. That'll hopefully give us some significant savings too. But I'm anticipating Monday night, we'll
Savings on the insurance?
yeah.
Less coverage.
Well, that's what I say, the only way we can do that is less coverage.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And we'll have some options for y'all on Monday.
We're also having a travel freeze. Staff can't travel unless it's federal funds. And then the budget reductions at both at the campus level and at the district. And then we'll see where that gets us.
I have a question, Philip. And maybe Ms. Riggs could answer this. Are we overstaffing substitutes? I know people that are, I mean, they've got work, they can work weeks on end. How are we doing on substitutes, and why are we not? I saw that you, on your connections, that we had lost, or we were not replacing this many students. But when I look at, I mean, not positions.
About
positions.
48.
All right, but then you look at the HR side, and we have 47 positions open as of last week. So how does that equate to savings? Yes, how does that equate? When we have this many gone, you save this much money, but you have 47 positions open.
We don't have that many
I
vacancies.
You mean there's 47 subs, we need 47 subs?
No, I'm
that
talking
year?
about positions, because I saw an ESL teacher opening, and this was last week, it could have changed.
We don't have that many openings.
No.
So I will be honest with you, actually today, we deleted a lot of those positions. We had them posted, and then in the last board meetings that we've been hiring, several of them were like for counselors and inclusion teachers, and we hadn't done a really good job of going and taking those positions down. So we do have less positions that are posted right now. But as far as substitutes, our substitute pool was running a little bit low at the end of last year. This year, we did have some paraprofessionals who left, so a lot of the principals hired substitutes that had done an outstanding job on their campuses previously to fill those para position vacancies. And so we did have a substitute orientation last night. We had about 72 candidates come and attend the orientation to try to replenish the pool. And I apologize that we didn't do a better job of taking down those postings that we had advertising.
Okay, I was just trying to see what's,
I
how.
can say, I don't think we have less than, I know we have less than 5 certified vacancies. We're filling some tonight, and then paras, we have a few para vacancies.
Mainly they're in maintenance and custodial.
Yeah, I saw that they're all over the place, but total, it
But
was still,
campus and department vacancies, it's under 10.
Correct.
It's, yeah, I know it's under 10.
Diags?
We've not been able to attract diags
Only the high school has some?
for this time, yes.
For the whole campus, we have one diag?
Yeah, but we are also contracting with diagnosticians
Yes.
to service our students.
So the positions posted aren't a part of that number of eliminated positions or not refilling positions from last year?
Correct. I-
Those were already on.
Yeah, I think did you give them some data on the FTEs?
Yeah, these are our
On this
FTEs.
page.
This is our FTEs. Right now in the budget, we're gonna fund 495 general fund positions and about 16 federal funds, a total of 511.5 FTEs. But only, the general fund is only the ones at the top. And they're kind of broken down. And then the second page shows you the positions kind of broken out by campus. So you can see how much staff we have at each campus. And then the last one, like I said, just to show you, that's the two-year change, where it took, in the last 2 years, we've reduced 48 positions, 36 general fund, 12 federal.
how are we doing on certified personnel? And have those numbers, those salaries been projected in your fund balances or your fund numbers here? So the certified personnel, we've got all of those filled. Is that correct?
There's a couple of
Certified,
inclusion.
we're missing diags. I know we're hiring some inclusion teachers tonight, but certified, it's diags and
A counselor,
a counselor.
Is that for the high school?
Yes.
Yes. I think that
and then
is-
we are looking for either an adaptive ed or an inclusion teacher at the primary.
But in the budget, I'm budgeting for all those vacancies. I'm still budgeting for them, anticipating that we will fill them. I'm budgeting it.
And then no one leaves.
And any other questions? I'll see you in 56 hours.
Thank you. And that was presentation only, no board action needed. All right, next agenda item is closed session. The board will convene in closed meeting as authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act to discuss items allowed by the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551.071-.076, .082, .0821, .083, .084. It is 6:31 PM and we will be going into closed session.
No sheets. Didn't we make you some? Okay.
Motion made by Paul. Do I have a second? Second made by Ben. All those in favor? None opposed. Motion carries 5-0.
Madam President, members of the board, administration recommends the board to authorize the superintendent and legal counsel to negotiate terms for a letter of intent as discussed in closed session. Final approval of any sales contract related to such property shall be subject to publication of the district's intent to purchase real property for the construction of the new junior high school as required by the Texas Local Government Code and subject to final approval by the Board of Trustees.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion made by Paul and a second by Paul. All those in favor? None opposed. Motion carries 5-0.
Step in the right direction.
All right, moving
Yes.
on to agenda item number 1, discussion/action item, discuss and consider approval of authorization of contract for the TMISD Primary School and Administration Building HVAC Equipment Replacement Project with Protec Mechanical LLC of Corpus Christi, Texas for the base bid and bid alternate number 2 for the amount of $2.44 million.
Another step in the right direction. Mr. Hernandez?
Issues.
Good evening. I have Mr. Bill Wilson here, the architect, to help us with any questions you might have. Just to quickly summarize and give you a couple of points that I need to make you aware before he gives you the fine details. Of course, we're in desperate need of replacing the units at the primary. They're starting to fail. We put it out to bid. We had 3 successful bidders. We had Protec Mechanical, Malik, and Johnson Controls. I think Mr. Mostella was the only one that was on the board 15 years ago when we did the TAC contract at the time. It's now called the Schneider contract, and it was for the HVA controls, and they were supposed to be a guarantee, and it was just a fiasco, a long story. We are breaking away. In this bid, we did an alternate bid to break away from Schneider TAC, and it was about $200,000. He'll give you the exact number.
$259,000 credit.
$259,000 credit by going away. The system we're selecting is open-ended, so we're not stuck with a Schneider thermostat, and we can buy any thermostat, and it will work on the system. That's the main thing about this bid. I want you to be aware of that. We're breaking away from that proprietary contract. At this time, I'll turn it over to Bill for any questions that you might have, but
Good evening. I think you did a very good job describing it. This project includes about 63 rooftop units on both the placement on this building, the primary school, as well as exhaust fans and other rooftop units. And one of the challenges with this is you don't have any swing space. We can't isolate the wings of that classroom building and take them out of service, replace air conditioners, and then move kids back in. So one of the nuances of this project is we've got to keep the school operational. and we've got very limited time in which the contractors can work, so it's gonna be phased, around your school schedule. And from time to time, we might have one or two classrooms meet in the cafeteria for a few days or two, but that's really about the extent of what we're gonna allow the contractor to deal with. And so they're gonna have to be working between your breaks, they're gonna have to be working on weekends and holidays and over Christmas and Thanksgiving and all those times, but it will extend the contract time, and we let them bid the number of days to do it, but that's really the only option we have in terms of keeping the campus operational. And then at some point in time, after we get these air conditioning units replaced, and they will be designed and installed in accordance with the windstorm, so they'll have structural tie downs to hold them in place and that meet the hurricane requirements. Then, at some point in time, I believe, then we've designed it in a way that we can do the re-roofing without interruption with the air conditioner system. So that we will be able to do a re-roofing of that building in the future without having to combine those two, the size of these projects. Because it's a sizable air conditioning project, but air conditioning contractors aren't roofing experts, and roofing contractors aren't air conditioner experts, at least not at this scale. So that will actually work out fairly well for the district as future improvements and maintenance projects over there continue. And I'll open it up to any questions.
So we're 100% sure we're not gonna create the issues we created with the last one where we have roofing issues. Right, didn't some of these AC installations cause some of our roofing issues the last time with the drainage?
That was at the high school.
I know, but we're not gonna be in a year from now saying, oh man, the
No.
drainage just ruined our roof.
No, that should not be an issue. We've learned lessons learned.
Okay.
So when we do what happened at the high school was the fire controls. They came in, they drilled through the pans, and you never drill through the pans. They drilled a hole through a pan that was designed to catch the water and put silicone. And silicone lasts for about a year or two, and then it starts to leak. So if somebody drills through a pan in these units, they're gonna be purchasing it. So we'll make it very clear to the contractors, they will be installed correctly. The city, he can cover the testing and balancing, of course, that will be done. But since it's just a replacement project, the city's not requiring as thorough inspections, since we're just replacing as is, unit for unit.
Yeah.
Bill, have you worked with ProTech any?
Yeah, not as much as others, but they've done good work. I would say that, we ranked, I don't know how much of the package was in your board package, but we ranked both qualifications and price and worked through the matrix on it. And because the price difference, under any scenario with the credit on the control systems, ProTech is the winner on points, and it's, it's a defendable position, and we're comfortable working with ProTech. I just haven't worked with them on anything this scale,
So when you
I know
said,
you've had experience with them as well.
I have. They did, when I built the new elementary school, they did this type work, and then,
Passed away a few years ago, so we've actually, it's sort of a transition, I guess, the natural transition of companies coming and going, but Malik's been the biggest dog, on the block for a long time, and these guys are, the next in line in terms of size and capacity.
are they still operating out of Corpus?
Yes.
when you say the city's not gonna require us to do the inspection, who's gonna be our QC? To make sure this is getting done?
Yeah, let me expand on that a little bit. What we were able to do is because the codes, recent code changes in the last decade have required comprehensive commissioning, systems commissioning. Is basically, while it's far more important to do that and on a ground-up building where you have complex systems, such as chilled water systems and variable volume air handler systems. And so you get real value when you're doing something new like that. But all we're doing, these are rooftop units. From an operational point of view, they're pretty straightforward. And there's not a lot to commission. I mean, you go measure the testing and balancing, and you check the electrical, and you check the thermostat, and they're not anywhere near as sophisticated as, say, a chilled water system at your high school. So you don't really get, value out of that commissioning process. And so what we've done, In fact, I think when I talked to the engineers and got a proposal from them to do the commissioning on it, and for them to do the commissioning in accordance with the city, what the code required, if you just take it face value for what it is, I think it was $40,000 or $50,000 in that range. So we went to the city and said, hey, guys, we've got other work we're doing in other campuses for Coastal Bend College in Beeville, and where we're replacing partial systems, and we can't commission them because we don't have the data on half the equipment in the building because it's too old. And without having that data, how can we confirm that it's operating within the parameters, right? We're going to replace the stuff that's there, and we know what we're replacing it with, and we know it's got the capacity, but we can't do all this paperwork, if you will. And so the city agreed that all they needed to see is testing and balancing, air testing and balancing. And that's pretty routine, and it's not anywhere near that. This commissioning would have been in addition to air testing and balancing. So, and frankly, we wouldn't have gone to the city and made that request if we thought there was value added for the district. But we just felt like it was a waste of your money and was just going to create a paper trail. So
Basically, the buildings have been in place for almost 24 years now, and the system works. We're just picking up a unit and replacing the exact same size.
Yeah.
Now, the CTE building, the new junior high, all those will get commissioned.
Okay. Good deal.
And, when you re-roof that building, at whatever time that takes place, then the insulation that's in there now does not meet anywhere near the energy code that we have today. So we would, if we were designing a new roof for that system, for that building, we would do much as we did at our other school re-roofing projects. We would put significant new insulation with that re-roofing system. And you should get significantly better energy performance for both the energy efficient equipment as well as the increased insulation.
Do we know how long it's going to take, like when the projected completion date will be?
Let me see if I can read the data here in my sheets. They bid a construction time of, I've got 4 different score sheets here.
I want to say they were all
Be on
close
the
to
bid
one
day.
year.
Okay, so Protec Mechanical bid the contract time is 265 days. Now that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to take 265 days, but from a contractual point of view, we'll have liquidated damages if they go beyond that 65 days. So they'll have incentive to finish before then. And, a big part of it's also going to be delivery of equipment. If they have delays in delivery of equipment, we're not doing a bunch of electrical infrastructure, so that's the biggest risk in today's marketplace. We've got two electrical projects for the college going right now. We bid it. We signed a contract with the electrical contractors back in November, and the electrical equipment's supposed to be in next week. That's how
Almost a
long we
year.
had to wait for electrical.
Wow.
Almost 9 months. So, and some equipment, the stuff we're doing on this is minor switches and disconnects. When you start getting into large panels, we ran into the same problem when we were doing the kitchen remodel at your high school. Because you didn't have the electrical capacity to run that new equipment in your kitchen, we had to put a new panel in, and that panel took 9 months. So, hopefully, we're not going to have any of those problems on this project.
Any other questions?
That's really all I've got.
Okay, thank you.
Madam President, members of the board, it is the administration's recommendation that the board approve the authorization of contract for the Tolosa Midway ISD Primary School and Administration Building HVAC Equipment Replacement Project with Protec Mechanical LLC of Corpus Christi, Texas, for the base bid and bid alternate number 2 for the amount of $2,440,000.
Do
I'll make that vote. First and second.
Do I have a second?
Yeah.
I have a
Whichever
motion
way
made by
you do it,
Paul
yeah.
and a second by Ben.
That way you do.
All those in favor? None opposed, motion carries 4-0.
It's a good thing that it's gonna be done because that's the original units, all of those are, aren't they?
No, we did a replacement in 2008, 2007, 2008.
But it wasn't all of them.
Thank you, sir.
There's a couple of for the technology rooms that are older than that. Yes, you're correct. The classrooms are changed.
Bill, thanks for supporting the state of the district.
Certainly, my pleasure. Thank you very much. We
Thank
will
you.
be on the horn with the contractor first thing in the morning.
Thank
Y'all
you.
have a good evening.
Take care,
Thanks, sir.
drive
You
safe.
too. All right. Moving on to discussion action item number 2. Discuss and consider approval of order and notice of election for Tolosa Midway ISD Board of Trustees on November 5th, 2024.
Ms. Castillo, do you have the information on this?
I do.
You do? Okay,
I'll go ahead and read it.
thank you.
Order of election. The State of Texas, County of Nueces, Tolosa Midway Independent School District. Whereas this Board of Trustees deems it advisable to call the election hereinafter ordered, and whereas it is hereby officially found and determined that said meeting was open to the public and public notice of the time, place, and purpose of the said meeting was given as required by Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Therefore, be it ordered by the Tolosa Midway Independent School District Board of Trustees that an election is to be held on November 5th, 2024, for the purpose of electing Board of Trustees positions for Tolosa Midway Independent School District, Trustee Place 1, 4-year term, Trustee Place 3, 4-year term, Trustee Place 4, 4-year term. Applications for a place on the ballot shall be filed by 5 p.m. August 19th, 2024. In conjunction with TMISD, the Nueces County Clerk and Commissioners will determine the upcoming election dates, times, and locations. Early voting will be conducted during the period of time as required, permitted by law. First day of early voting will begin on October 21st, 2024, and end on November 1st, 2024. Applications for early voting ballot by mail shall be mailed to Kara Sands, Nueces County Clerk, Attention Elections Division, P.O. Box 2627, Corpus Christi, Texas 78403. Applications for ballots by mail must be received no later than the close of business on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, Election Day, at 7 p.m. if carrier envelope is not postmarked, or Wednesday, November 6th, 2024, next business day after Election Day at 5 p.m. if carrier envelope is postmarked by 7 p.m. at the location of the election on Election Day, unless overseas or military voters' deadlines apply. All Election Day sites will be those designated by Nueces County Clerk Kara Sands and will be open November 5th, 2024 from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Herein, the Nueces County Clerk's Office will provide and facilitate a full-service election for Tolosa Midway ISD. Herein, all election officers, presiding judges, and alternate presiding judges designated by the Nueces County Clerk's Office are hereby appointed and confirmed to hold said election at said polling places. Herein, all residents determined to be qualified voters of said district shall be entitled to vote at said election. Herein, this order shall serve as proper notice of said election, and this said notice shall be published one time by said district, not earlier than the 30th day or later than the 10th day prior to the date set for the election, in a newspaper of general circulation in said district. In addition, said notice will be posted on a bulletin board used for posting notice of meetings of the Board of Trustees not later than the 21st day prior to the date set for the election. This order is issued the 15th day of August, 2024, and in all respects, said election shall be conducted in accordance with Texas state law and Texas election code.
Madam President, members of the board, it is the administration's recommendation that the board approve the order and notice of election for the Tolosa Midway ISD Board of Trustees on November 5th, 2024, as presented.
I have a motion. I have a motion made by Paul. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion made by Paul and a second by Ben. All those in favor? None opposed, the motion carries 4-0. We have future meetings, August 18th, which is just an informational meeting. It is posted as a special called board meeting. Another meeting on Monday, August 19th, which is our regular board meeting, and then August 26th, which is the special called board meeting.
So on August 18th, it's called a special board meeting. Does it have to be a quorum?
No,
No?
it's just in case a quorum is present. All right, is there any further business?
None.
None? All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting? And I know I already have a second.
We gotta keep it going.
It is now 7:35 PM. We have a motion made by Ben and a second by Paul. There's no further business, so we can adjourn the meeting. All those in favor? None opposed. Motion carries 4-0. For 7:35 PM, this meeting is adjourned.
All of y'all say.
Oh,
Oh, everybody.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't say.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Merci.